Hi, I'm Neil, one of the founders at Clientell, and today I'm really excited to show you what we are building here. What we've actually built is a large action model for Salesforce, which fundamentally differs from a large language model like ChatGPT, because not only can it work with you, give you suggestions, and understand what you're saying in natural language, but it can actually take actions on your behalf on Salesforce. So clientele AI, which is an agent, actually acts just like a Salesforce admin that sits within your Slack, that takes requests from you, that actually executes them on Salesforce and gives you back the things that you need. The only difference, it does it probably 100x faster and 1,000x cheaper. So let me just share my screen here. Like I said, it's an AI agent that sits within your Slack. And you can ask it anything. You can treat it like a business analyst. You can ask it, uh, can you tell me by opportunity owner name how many we closed in last year? So each question that you ask, each conversation that you have actually becomes a thread. And what it what Clientele AI right now is doing is it has full context of your Salesforce. It knows all the metadata, all the fields that are there, all the objects that are there, and it is processing this request that you gave and is actually fetching this data from your Salesforce and trying to make sense of it and giving you a summarized result. So anytime you want to run a report, you want to do anything else, you don't really need to create a lot of stuff on Salesforce. You don't need to create dashboards. You don't need to create reporting snapshots. You can just ask the agent itself, and it would give you the exact thing that you're looking for. Further, it actually converses with you. It asks you whether you need this in a particular form of chart or whether you want to break this down by amounts, etc. And it all happens in real time, getting you to your answers much quicker. But what if we could take this up a notch? Like, what if instead of just asking and answering different kinds of questions and queries and working with you to make your business better, what if it could actually implement things on Salesforce? So, what if you suddenly wake up one day and say, can you create a validation rule such that for opportunities with amount greater than 12,000, the user is not allowed to move the stage backwards. Now, this is a pretty standard practice, right? A lot of times you would have users moving the stages forward, and then just before a review, they actually move it backward. What if you could just create a validation rule that does not let you do that does not let your users do that? Typically, how would this have worked? You, even if you had the idea that you wanted to create something like this, you would have had to go to your Salesforce admin. Then they would analyze the request. They would actually write the code for this. They would also fetch all the existing stage name fields that are already there and then accordingly design this code, validate it, make sure that it's working, etc. With Clientele AI, you really don't need to do anything of that sort. It will actually work with you. It will tell you what it's doing. And it works great in documentation. How many times have you seen different flows, different fields, different objects created that don't have the description field filled properly? And nobody knows what goes wrong. It will actually create all of that. And then it will ask you whether you want to proceed with it or not. And you can just say, please proceed. So the way we've built it is it always works with you, but it also takes your permission. It never does anything that it's not supposed to. And it will always give you a reasoning of what it wants to do. And once you've actually given it the permission to go ahead, it will further go down into your Salesforce and create this entire validation rule itself. Like it's said that it has successfully created the same. Now, where are we till now? You can talk to your Salesforce in natural language. You can understand what is happening with your business data, which is quite good. You can actually create different validation rules to influence user behaviors. But what if you could take this a level further? What if you could actually create flows? What if you could actually understand all the different flows that are already there and improve them? I think so that is the next superpower that Clientele brings. So you can just ask it, can you tell me about the flows, about the flow called approval process and what it does? So imagine decade-old flows that have a lot of data in them and that were created by probably 5 different people. And you're looking at them, you don't really know what is happening. You don't really know how they're actually affecting your data. What this does is the easiest solution to documentation. You no longer have to create hundreds of pages of documentation so that everybody understands what you're building. You don't even need to create those individual flows. You can actually ask the agent itself to create the flow with proper documentation. So here it tells me what kind of flow approval process is, what it does, what version is it, who created it, whether it's actually active or it's obsolete, and everything else that you would like to know. Similarly, I could actually ask it to go ahead and create a similar flow for me. So what we are really imagining here is a whole new way of using Salesforce, and we are very excited to see what you do with it. Thank you.